Hello, it's Harshit here again, your business communication teacher, and let us start with the next topic of barriers to communication. And we are going to start with the third one, socio-cultural barriers. Now, I think the word is very easy to understand. The barriers in communication, the barriers in understanding each other that occur because two people come from different cultures or two different social backgrounds. We know by now that language is a product of culture. Different cultures give rise to different languages. Even if two people from two different cultures are speaking the same language, they speak it differently because two cultures are different. Think about Indian English, it's different from British English, and it's very different from American English, and some of them say they don't even speak English, they speak American. You see, the way Americans have changed the spellings of so many words, for example, that is a cultural barrier. Take a very simple example. Word like sick. If I'm sick, in India, you understand what that means. If I say this to an American, he is going to interpret sick as something is wrong with my stomach, so I'm going to vomit. अगर मैं बीमार हूँ, if I want to indicate that in the United States, I will have to say I'm ill. You see, that is a cultural barrier. As we have covered previously, a lot of points we will discuss in cultural barriers are very similar to language barriers because language and culture go hand in hand. They are the products of each other. Now, the social cultural barrier can also emerge from some very simple things. A person who does not understand his own culture really well may end up using words differently. Think about a simple example. A word like jungle, forest, woods, wilderness, all these four words can be used as synonyms by somebody who is an Indian. But a Britisher would know that these four words have very different meanings and they would be used in different situations, in different contexts. Another example that we are going to encounter very soon when we see letter writing, the way Indians write letter, it's a very Indian English. Jaise, we start our letter with the salutation, respected sir. And I always tell my students it is a wrong way of starting a letter. Why? When I call someone sir or ma'am, we are not supposed to write ma'am, it's madam. When I call somebody sir or madam, itself is a word of respect. I'm not insulting someone by calling him a sir. Then why do I add respected sir? If you see in the American English, they would call it dear sir, dear madam. We use respected because it's a literal Hindi translation. Hindi में हम लिखते हैं आदरणीय महोदय और माननीय महोदय, and I translate that as it is and I turn that into respected sir. If I send such a letter to somebody in the United States, you might be going for your admission there and so many other things, they will immediately assume that you have bad English. So many other things can be taken in this. Think about the typical Indian way of speaking again. Take a seat. And the Westerners do not understand what you mean when you say take a seat. Take a seat मतलब क्या कुर्सी लूँ मैं, कुर्सी उठा के लूँ, घर लेके जाऊँ. What they say is sit, which is the proper way of saying English, right? Sit. Take a seat मतलब आसन ग्रहण करो. We translate that as it is into English, and that's why we end up saying something like take a seat. Again, when you are speaking like that, this way of speaking emerges out of your culture, and that constitutes a cultural barrier. Let me tell you a very funny incident. When we were studying in Germany, it's a tradition there, we also follow that in our university. When the students come from other university, they have one host faculty associated with them, and this host faculty usually takes you for the parties. She invites you to her home for dinner and things like that. So one particular day, she was trying to explain to us that we would go to one particular restaurant for lunch. And she was explaining us in the mix of German and English. She did not speak very good English. And she was trying to explain to us that this restaurant is called as Bergarten. And she asked us, do you know what Bergarten is? And we said, no, I did not understand German. The other two girls did. She said, Bergarten is something that's in the outer space. And I laughed out loud, thinking it was a joke. I expected her to laugh at that. When she did not join in, I realized, okay, something went wrong. When she said it was in the outer space, I really assumed the outer space. I thought it was a joke. When she said it, Bergarten is something in the outer space, she meant outer space as in not indoors. It's outdoors, something not in the enclosed spaces. These small things are the example of cultural barrier. Take another very beautiful incident with the same lady. One fine day, she was giving us directions to reach her house for dinner. And she said, okay, take a right from here, take a tram, get down at this spot, take a right, take a left. This is the street, and when you walk on this street, your left side, the biggest house is mine. I thought, oh, what a boastful lady. I mean, she know we are coming from a poor country. The biggest house on that street is mine. I mean, nobody would describe the house like that. We were like, fine. When we went on that street, we could not find her house. So after looking here and there, and we finally dialed her up, and she met us in just 30 seconds, and she, why couldn't you see my house? That is my house. And when we looked at that, that was a building, not a house. When she said the biggest house is mine, we assumed a bungalow, a really big bungalow. What she showed us was an apartment complex, a really tall building. Why did she call us a house? Because in German, the word house can be used to refer to any damn building. Like we do that in Indian languages. How a bhavan can be used. See, Vidhan Bhavan hai, Sansad Bhavan hai. You see, these are administrative buildings. But we can use the house bhavan to indicate any building, not just the house. These small things can constitute the cultural barriers. Now again, the examples can go on, but I think this is enough for you to understand the point. Now, a lot of cultural barriers also come when you are not speaking a particular language yet, because you are just encountered a different culture. A lot of cultural barriers, if they are extreme, you would call them cultural shock. When something that happens in different culture and it is so strange to you, you had just never experienced something like that before. So one particular incident, again in Germany, that one of the girls who was with me, my classmate, she tells me, her family was there and they were walking, they were in the mall with her really old 82-year-old grandmother, and they were going up the escalator, and one local couple there right in front of them on the highest step, a really young couple, you know, college going students. The boy, he puts his hand around that girl and they kiss for like 15 seconds, and this family is really embarrassed and they did not know how to face the grandmother, and the grandmother just says, these people are so free, you know. And the entire family burst into laughter. You see, these awkward moments, that is also something like a cultural barrier. But think about something concrete. Imagine if you are a business person going to the Middle East, if you are a lady not wearing a headscarf, they may think that you are disrespecting their culture. There have been incidents in the history of corporate deal making where the deal was cancelled because you came off as a person who is rude to their culture. The same thing goes in the Western countries. In the countries like England, America, even Germany, they are very particular about time. In fact, you would be expected to reach 10 minutes in advance. If you say 6 o'clock and if you are reaching at 6:05, it is quite likely that the deal would be off the table because you have reached 5 minutes late. These small things constitute cultural barrier. In India, even today, when I say 6, it can mean around 6. I can come 6:50 at 6:15, I can come at 6:20 also, and that's also acceptable. All these things are basically cultural barriers. Can you think of some other things that can constitute cultural barrier? Remember again, this barrier, the cultural barrier, means that the problem in understanding each other that emerges because two people come from different culture. Again, to give you a very simple incident, in India, we absolutely have no word for sorry. Can you think of one word to replace sorry in Indian languages? मुझे माफ़ कर दीजिएगा, मैं आपकी माफ़ी चाहता हूँ. These are the elaborate ways of asking for forgiveness. We do not have one word to indicate sorry. What does that mean? Think about this. Or another incident given, my friend, he is into preaching. What do we, Pandit hai. And he told me this one fine day, and that was such an amazing thing for me. He says, in none of the Indian languages, we have a word for divorce. In Marathi we call it Ghatasphot, but Ghatasphot is a very different thing altogether. He explained me the cultural significance of that. When you are, जब आप मैयत का वो जब कर रहे होते हैं, you are holding that earthen pot on your shoulder, and ultimately it is broken to show that the relation has ended. That is घट जो pot है उसका, to break that, we are using the same word to indicate divorce. In our culture, we do not have a word for divorce. What can that indicate? If you think about all these things one by one, all of them are basically cultural barriers. Let us end at a last very funny example. In the United States, it's a practice that an Indian employee usually calls his boss home for lunch. If you're calling home for lunch, then it is customary that you are going to serve beer. If your boss is fond of drinks, then whiskey, and you are going to end your lunch with coffee. If you are calling him for dinner, then you are going to serve wine. Now, if you do not serve these things, you may come off as a very inhospitable host, unless you have already told him that these things are forbidden to you. You see, these small things, मतलब खाने को बुलाया और चिवड़ा थमा दिया, something like that, right? You are trying to insult that person. These small things can constitute cultural barriers and may have a problem in understanding each other. I'm sure if you think about this, you'll be able to think of many such things which are cultural barriers in our day-to-day life. Remember, cultural barriers will also occur when a person from Maharashtra travels down south, or especially if a Punjabi goes to Tamil Nadu, if a Tamil person goes to Punjab, they are going to encounter a lot of cultural barriers. I think that was good enough. Think about some more examples if you can.